Okay, I am going to make a soup recipe that I'm going to keep in my fridge and I'm going to eat on it during the week for my lunch. This is a play on a recipe that I got off YouTube several years ago that I've been making all of the time. I do not remember who I got it from, so I do apologize. I think it might have been Kimberly Davis. Hey girl. But I don't know 100% sure. I just know I seen it, I wrote it down, and I've been making it ever since, my own version. I'm changing it up. So what I'm going to do, what this consists of, is it consists of a bag of coleslaw, some Italian meatballs, a jar of pasta sauce, a can of green beans, and a can of northern beans. Now the original recipe, just so you know, had coleslaw, it had Italian sausage, and it had the pasta sauce and 2 cans of northern beans. So that's the original recipe. This is how I'm changing it up. Sorry, I put some oil in a pot over here and there was a little water in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this can of Italian meatballs. I did want the turkey and they didn't have it. I'm going to slice them in half. I'm going to go ahead and brown them up in this popping oil over here. It's not supposed to be that hot, y'all. And then basically I'm going to drain and rinse both of the beans and put the sauce in there, get with some water, get that heating up, put the beans in there, then put the coleslaw in there last, cook it just enough to get the rawness off, and then we're done. That's it, super easy. I'll show you as we go along. Okay, here is the meatballs. I'm cooking them in just a tiny bit of olive oil. I just want them to get nice and brown since they are pre-cooked. So that, since they're pre-cooked, I think cooking them in a soup, they might get a little mushy. So we're going to get them a little brown on each side. And then we're going to add all the other ingredients. Okay, here we go. So I've rinsed and drained the beans. I have pulled the meatballs out and drained all the grease off of there. I've drained and rinsed my green beans. I'm second guessing myself on these. I may or may not put those in there. If I don't, I'll just put them in a Tupperware dish and put them in the refrigerator. And then my coleslaw and my pasta sauce. I'm going to put my pasta sauce in there with some water and put my beans and my meatballs in there, and then I'm going to decide on the green beans. Okay, here's the soup. This is 1 can of pasta sauce, 1 jar of pasta sauce, the meatballs that I cut in half and I browned, a can of green beans that I drained and rinsed, and a can of northern beans that I drained and rinsed. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Oh, and 1 jar of water. So this is a giant pan, so that's why it doesn't look like very much, but this is going to be enough for me for during the week, maybe even a little bit for tonight. Once this comes up to a boil, I'm going to let it boil for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to put the coleslaw in there, turn it down, and let it simmer until I like the texture of the coleslaw. I still like it a little on the crunchy side. I don't want it completely wilty. What I have used before, which I did not see today, was broccoli slaw. Really, really, really love the broccoli slaw. So, like I said, I'm just going to bring this up to a boil, let it simmer for a few minutes, and then I'll come back when we're putting the coleslaw in. The one thing about using the pasta sauce is it has all the flavors and all the seasonings mixed in. The same thing with the meatballs. They're already seasoned. Now, if this looks a little thick, you can add more water. If you have some more pasta sauce, you can add more pasta sauce. I like it a little thick. I want it to be more kind of like a cross between a stew and a soup. And don't worry, this will start to wilt down a little bit. You can add more seasonings. I add a tiny bit more seasonings just because I like a lot of seasoning. I add a little bit of garlic powder and a little more Italian seasoning. We may add a tiny bit more water to this and then let it simmer for a little bit and then it'll be done. So this is it. This is our meatball soup. I'm going to let it simmer. What do y'all think? Okay, maybe a little less steam this time. This is what it looks like. I'm not going to cook it very long. because I'm going to let it cool and put it in containers and put it in the refrigerator. So I kind of want to keep the coleslaw a little on the crunchy side because I will be reheating it. But this tastes awesome, y'all. I'm going to have me a little bowl tonight for dinner, and the rest of it is going to be lunch the rest of this week. How great does that look? Tell me what you think of this recipe. I did not use all of the coleslaw. I had about that much left. You totally could double this. I added in maybe about a quarter of a jar of water, a pasta jar of water, just to give it a little more room here. You could totally add in a can of diced tomatoes that have the Italian seasoning in it if you want that. You can add in more vegetables if you want, but what's really nice is the coleslaw has all your vegetables there. The meatballs have seasoning in them, your pasta sauce has seasoning in it, and then we've got the beans that are going to give you some more protein, green beans for your nice green veggie to give you something else in here besides, you know, all the julienne vegetables that are the same size. So I like this. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it with the meatballs, but I really love it. I hope you like this recipe. Let me know if you give it a try. Remember to stop and thank God for today, because it truly is a gift. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.